sun rises, the next day arrives. After coming out of standby, I'm ordered to enter the shock-resistant chamber once again, where I am told this is a different purpose than combat tests. Soon afterwards, 3 researchers supervise the feedback downloads
Sounds
appear.
like it's decided. We'll discontinue use of the name Unit Number 031. Generation 5 Labrys will be this unit's new name.
Labrys.
That's your name. The official one's much longer. Generation 5 Anti-Shadow...
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labrys. How hard is that to remember?
Labrys.
The designation by a name that is not a number. I never questioned being called 031 until now. Nothing about it seemed awkward. But I wonder why I'm happy now to have acquired a name. Even if my designation changes, I will not have a concrete effect on my abilities. But discarding my number for a name, I feel as if I am no longer one of a series with minute variables, that I am a discrete individual. That may be why. I find myself smiling as a result.
From now on, the battles you fight will not be to test your performance. They'll be geared toward drawing out a persona. First, you will fight all the remaining units of your model type. Your objective is to destroy them. Every last one.
Huh?
I am perplexed at the disconnect between their tone of voice and the specifics of the order. Fight against the remaining units of my model type? Destroy every last one of them?
The fear impulse and self-preservation instinct seem to be the key to activating a persona. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress.
Stress? Come on, you don't have to go this far.
Huh? Well, that's a first. None of them have ever protested like that. Well, at least that's a sign that its ego is developing.
You told me it was over. I thought I wouldn't have to do these things anymore.
You.
Ain't there some other way? If there is, please, let me do that instead. I don't want to fight them anymore.
The 3 researchers look at me with apparent surprise on their faces. Did my protest get through to them? I hope so,
That's a surprise. Such natural speech patterns. I hadn't thought its personality would develop this fast.
All the data's being recorded now. Let's compare them and look at which stages they improve at.
They smile while muttering to themselves. I am at a complete loss for words. They are not machines, but humans, and on top of that they are creators. It is not possible they do not understand me. Yet, their current expression. Until now I thought they were understanding people who treated us close to human. I was wrong. I'm only an object to them. No matter what I say, they will see me as a response to stimuli. Beyond their gentle attitudes, they are nothing more than test subjects that have no emotional attachment to. They do not focus on what I'm saying. They are only interested in me as a reaction. The researchers ignore my stunned silence and hastily leave the chamber. Their figures are hidden behind the hatch. Soon, with a terrible low-pitched sound, the hatch on the other side begins to open, where the opponents come through. I'll be forced to fight again today and in the days to come. I must continue to destroy my opponents each time. I cannot find the words I want to say. I slowly turn my head towards the hatch. But what I see is what truly leaves me at a loss for words.
No.
The opponent emerging from the hatch is 024. There is no smile or sadness on her face. She is quietly standing there, expressionless. 024 steps into the chamber while gazing at my face. The hatch slowly closes behind her.
Why?
Even I do not know what the question is addressed to. Why is she here? Because she was ordered? Do I have to fight her now? It is not quite sinking in yet. But, in a sharp tone I have never heard from her before, she tells me what I must do.
Draw your weapon.
I can't.
If you don't fight, you'll lose. I will end up destroying you. Are you willing to accept that?
Why? Why are you saying this stuff?
C24 ignores my question and reaches behind her with her right hand. The multi-use weapon unit releases from her back, and it becomes a greatsword in her right hand. It's approximately 1.5 meters long, as she is tall. It is also alarmingly wide and fitted with a propulsion device. It's difficult to process seeing the weapon pointed at me.
If you fear being destroyed, if you have a heart capable of fear, then there's no need to hesitate. That alone gives you the right to attack me with all your strength.
But doesn't the same go for you?
I could not help but plead. 024 does not answer, but it appears a very small smile
You
forms on her
said there was
lips.
someone you wanted to meet. I can't fight you knowing that.
I turn and appeal to the researchers watching us from the other side of the glass wall.
Stop this! I don't want to fight anymore!
I press against the transparent wall and continue to strike it with my fist. Though my safety limiters are disabled, I must be coated by something. I can't even scratch it. The researchers standing on the other side are completely expressionless. It is as if they were machines themselves. I beg and plead, but they do not respond. If only there wasn't this clear glass wall between us. I'm so frustrated. Why? Then I hear 024 speak up weakly
Only
behind
one of us
me.
can exit this chamber.
Huh?
They never told you, since you were strong enough, that battles never lasted very long. But that's the rule of this place. The only time the door leading beyond that transparent wall opens is when one of us is considered unable to fight. From the start, this whole setup never took our feelings into account.
I can say nothing. I can see from her words that atrocious battles were forced
But
upon her.
talking like this is a waste of time. I can see I won't spur you into fighting with just words alone.
As she finishes, 024 leaps in the air, swinging her sword at me. I quickly jump backward and barely dodge the attack. Her sword slashes at the space where I had been, at a speed that could have killed. The tip grazed the chamber floor. Red sparks fly. She is serious. I finally sinks in. I jump away and put the distance between us.
I don't intend to meekly accept my destruction. I have my own goal, after all. Now, fight me.
I have no choice but to fight, but a thought crosses my mind. In terms of basic combat strength, mine is probably higher. Using my usual tactics, I should be able to destroy her weapon and disable enough of her servos to prevent her from attacking. 024's ego is without a doubt more highly developed than mine. It must be of value to the researchers. If I can remember her incapable of acting, I may be able to avoid the order to destroy her when she is down. I decide to bet on that possibility. I shift my priorities and fight back with all my strength. I cannot do this empty-handed. I remove my own multifunction weapon from my back, shaped it into a battle axe. It pains me to do this, but it's the only way. I repel 024's persistent sword strikes and go for a counterattack. I aim for the great sword's clasp with my battle axe. After a number of hits, it shatters. My next target is the transmission system on her shoulder and knee joints. In terms of output and movement itself, I detect various differences between us. Amongst those unit types, I awaken latest. Compared to 024, not only my personality module, but my limbs as well have been upgraded to the latest versions. It's only a matter of time. 024 loses virtually all offensive capabilities and falls to the floor. As planned, the 024 is mostly undamaged apart from her weapon and motor functions. I immediately turn towards the researchers and begin behind their invisible wall and raise my voice.
Enough? She had that ego thing way before me. Destroying her won't do anyone any good. Come on. Have a heart.
But hearing this, the researchers only laugh. Their faces are joyous when they see results that surpass their expectations. Why? Why in this situation could cause joy? 024's body collapses on the floor and suddenly begins to convulse. It goes still for a few seconds. Then, although it should not be able to move, it drags itself up.
Huh? What the?
Unpleasant metallic sounds are coming from all over her body. It indicates she's undergoing unreasonable stress. Still, no expression appears on 024's face. It's a cold, doll-like face, void, similar in appearance to a newly activated unit. I know as soon as I look at her. She would never make a face like this on her own.
It'll be coming at you with everything it has now. You better not hold back either. Number 024 had an excellent record against others of its model. Even you might have a hard time beating this one, Labrys.
I unconsciously find myself biting my lip. We are weapons. In other words, we are tools. Of course, that would mean it means to issue orders remotely. I recall the one the researcher said. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme stress. In other words, the more stress I desire, the more strongly I desire 024's survival, the stronger my reaction will be forced to destroy her. That is why they laughed. I can sense the strength draining from my shoulders. There is nothing more I can attempt. All I can do is end her. Behind me, 024, or rather her animated shell, approaches me, its limbs shaking. I suppress all thoughts unrelated to tactics and slowly turn around. My body goes cold. My arms move into a position as if controlled by someone else, ready my weapon. It was not a close fight. Once I decided to finish this, once I was resolved to stop her, 024, as she is now, stood no chance against me. Now you're going to kill the researchers. I fall to my knees next to 024. Her limbs have been shattered. She will never rise again. My processors are overloaded with things I cannot understand. I feel as if all processing is slowed. 024's face turns to the ceiling.
Are you not going to look at me anymore? You're not going to smile again?
I not expect her to respond, but 024's face moves slightly. I stare at her without knowing how to react. She turns to gaze at me and smiles.
Sorry to leave you alone. I leave the rest to you.
There were these last words she spoke. I can't believe this. 024's dead face is laughing. She's smiling at the one who destroyed her and robbed her of her dream. All at once, everything hits me in a torrent of emotion and data. I lost her. I did it. I took everything she had. My vision begins to fade. My thoughts go with it. I cannot determine whether the lights are actually dimming or if it's only my perception. It is too much to handle. I collapse to the ground helplessly like a crumbling statue. So I guess her, reality manipulation hardware is going to develop as a way to stop them from remotely giving her orders. Next time I awaken, I'm lying inside a cage. It seems I was carried out of the test chamber. The download of 024's feedback data is about to begin. The researchers seem to have been taking my sudden loss of consciousness seriously. I'm confined to the cage instead of sitting in the usual maintenance chair. We just keep repeating the word interesting. So this is how they react when extreme mental stress is induced. I can hear the words clearly. They seem to derive pleasure from the fact I lost consciousness due to mental stress, rather than physical damage. Cables are connected to my body, one after the other. The data downloads begins. All of 024's information, combat data, various records and memories she experienced. All of it flows into me. My eyes widen in surprise. Everything is so vibrant. It's so clear that it's indistinguishable from actually experiencing them. This is the first time I've received memories with such vivid images. All of the images are linked to records of emotions she felt in relation to them. They are strongly linked to the screening protocols that cannot distinguish them from human thought. The big tree whose branches we examined. The sound of water we heard periodically, Snowy playing around. As I relieve 024's experiences, I pick up on an unfamiliar voice. There is no associated image data. Only the voice can be heard. It is the female voice. There is a female researcher at this facility, but the voice belonged to a younger person, still in human developmental stages.
I know the world is a big place. And I know that there's a lot of people in it.
Interesting. That girl's voice speaks with the accent that Labrys already had.
But I won't be able to see it for myself, or meet many of them. I know that, too. I'm too weak for that.
Her speech is different than the researchers or those of my unit type. It is very similar to my own speech output.
It has made me sad more than once. But I didn't want to do nothing and be left with regrets. That was when my mom and dad looked into some options. And we decided to go with this experiment. If even a sick girl like me could make herself useful to others in this world, I thought I ought to go for it.
Who could this be? I only know that she's female. She's in a situation where her condition prevents her from moving freely. It seems that instead of lamenting this fact, she has decided to volunteer for an experiment of some kind. Where did 024 hear this voice? Did she know this person? I wish I could ask her, but that is no longer possible.
I kept wondering how much I could really contribute, but after hearing more and more about the program, I started to wonder about the others more than myself.
Others? It's strange when I hear that voice, but I feel 024's heart waver. Was she surprised? Perhaps even I feel something unexplainable.
Yeah. My big wish is to make myself useful to this world. But the ones born from me... Is born the right word for it? Kind of embarrassing. My other wish is that the ones born from me are happy. I doubt I'll be able to talk to them in person or stay with them, but I still wish from the bottom of my heart that they all have happy lives.
People's voices have unique characteristics. In the past, I could have expressed it as a variance in waveform. Variance. But each of them has what we could call its own texture and temperature to it. The voice sounds very warm and kind. I would like to listen to more of it, but the speech ends there. There's no more related memories from 024. While the cables disconnect, I desire to search the archive for results matching that voice. Sadly, there are no results, but during the search, I suddenly remember something. The archive given to me by 024 that night. I quickly opened the folder and there found a single file inside.
If you are reading this, then I have most likely been destroyed. It may be that you already understand the concept of guilt, but you have done nothing wrong.
If you are still safe when everything is over, she must have meant if I defeated her in combat. 024 knew what would happen to those who lost the trial. What emotions was she feeling then? What was going through her mind as she prepared this file? It was something, I feel something wrenched inside my chest.
I happened to access certain data during the feedback treatment and learned something. Artificially creating a personality from scratch is very difficult, though they hope to achieve it in 2 generations. But those of our model were actually made from the template of a certain girl's personality. That includes you and I. She had left a recording for the units created using her personality. A message for those of us who did not yet exist. That's what I heard. She speaks in a strange way, like you. I thought, we really are connected to her.
I think about that unknown voice. The experiment of the voice spoke of when it was related to our development after all. The owner of that voice was speaking to us.
The one who gave birth to us loved us. When I understood that, I felt like my eyes were opened. Though my life was filled with suffering, my birth had meaning. I firmly believe that. I want to meet her. I need to tell her thank you for giving birth to us and for loving us. This was not an order from the scientists. It was an objective I made for myself. So if you can understand my feelings, I'd like you to do this in my stead. Give our mother my thanks.
How 024 must have wanted to meet this girl when she saw her mother. She must have longed to thank this girl in person. That had it within me. Her heart tells me so. During the time when I was ordered to destroy her sisters, this wish must have been her only hope. Yet it did not come true. I shattered it. The one she herself said was the one who understood her. She must have been devastated. But the letter ends in the way I least expected.
Though we knew each other for only a short time, I'm glad I met you. I feel the same right now as our mother did. I wish from the depths of my heart for you to be happy.
I'm shocked. How can she feel that way towards someone who may one day destroy her? I realized then that the visual input from my optics experienced distortion for some unknown reason. An unfamiliar source of water trickles down my cheek.
Labrys, is she crying?
So she is. I can't believe we're actually seeing a machine being driven to tears.
But its mental graphs are clearly abnormal. What kind of information did it download?
Who knows? That's one thing the graphs can't tell us.
We should take care to limit our studies to just the battle data. It doesn't need any sentimental memories. You can delete those. Why make a weapon so emotional that it can cry?
Delete them? Something roars within me, and it drowns out the feelings that for 024 and my mother had filled my heart.
Delete! Like hell you're deleting my memories!
Under no circumstance will I allow what 024 left me to be deleted for their convenience. I will not forgive this selfishness. We have been treated callously by researchers in this laboratory. They gave us heart, yet made us destroy those of our unit types as enemies. We killed our sisters at their command. If we refused, our desires were overwritten, we became their puppets. The wishes of the girl who desired happiness were not taken into consideration. Now even the memories of the 024, my sisters and I, have accumulated are to be erased like trash? Though their aim is to develop our ego, they find it inconvenient for us to have real hearts. These feelings within me may be erased, perhaps even my heart itself. If that happens, I will resume killing sisters without hesitation. What is least forgivable is the proof that 024 had lived. Her last wishes will be permanently lost. My hands squeezed into tight fists. They make small grinding noise. The goal is that 024 found for herself was left to me. I will carry it out as my own now. I will burn it into my heart as my goal. It is a duty I impose on myself gladly. Nothing will make me surrender it. It must be fought for. Or rather, it must be protected, even if it means fighting.
What the? Its emotions are spiking into the red. I've never seen anything like this.
Hey, what's that warning? No. Labrys is in battle mode?
What? That can't be. There aren't any enemies. We're the only ones here.
I'm able to release all my limiters despite being inside the cage. The researchers monitoring me in their tablet PCs seem perplexed and alarmed by this. They should be. They're witnessing an override of the principle of non-aggression towards humans. They are flustered and too panicked to speak clearly as they announce that an emergency has occurred. One of them steps away from the cage I am in and reaches for a switch with warning labels around it. Suddenly, the restraints appear to bind my limbs.
Are you saying those mental fluctuations were enough to override the OS's restrictions?
That plume's playing pranks on us. Hey, hurry up and delete those memories.
These memories and my heart are not unnecessary.
We are!
Something I have not felt until now, a sensation like heat, spreads throughout my body. A trembling, burning wave rises within me. Soon after, I realize it is emotion, and there is a name for this feeling. It is anger. I reroute all my strength into my restrained limbs. The restraints are designed to withstand up to twice our calculated maximum output. Trying to escape there is therefore illogically doomed to failure. Even so, I continue to muster my strength. It is not because I judge it a viable course of action. I am not merely executing an order. I am acting based on my emotions. It does not matter if the restraints can be destroyed or not. I wish to destroy them. The middle parts of my body and limbs and the restraints begin to creak.
How's it doing that? There's no way those things are strong enough to break the restraints.
It's outputting over 220% of its theoretical strength limit, even though its joint actuators are operating at only 70% capacity.
That's not possible. That doesn't even make any sense. What's driving this thing?
I'm not gonna let you take those memories. I made her a promise.
The next moment, a rupturing sound like a small explosion shakes the entire room. The cage broke because I pressed the button too fast. I jump out of the cage and rush towards the open door. I must escape from here. I have to get out and see this girl who loved us, even though we're not yet created, but fulfill 024's wish, which has become something more. But when I enter the hallway connecting to the outdoor area, I am met with barricades and heavy artillery.
I haven't even got any projectile weapons.
My sister units have never been equipped with firearms. I recall it being due to concerns over the unit's mentality affecting the accuracy of its aim. Instead, we were given short-range weapons, a chain arm with other implements in case, but they are not sufficient to deal with the range of firearms. However, I do have a countermeasure. By using the flexibility in adapting situations of my developed mind, I dodge complex projectile trajectories and destroy the opposition. Eventually, I reach the end of the hallway and exit the outdoor area. I have not seen this environment before. The trees are the same species that grew near the facility, but these specimens are much healthier. Where am I? The question did not cross my mind until now. Where am I? Where are we? I cannot use GPS that should be installed in me. It seems the research facility blocks GPS signals outside the walls. It's probably to prevent its location from being pinpointed. Is there anything like the environment that helps you determine my location? The blue sky that I'm seeing for the first time is stunning, but irrelevant. Then I notice a peoc sound of liquid in the distance. Ah, that is the sound of the ocean. The answer comes easily to mind. One of the sisters must have taken interest and learned what it was. My sisters are helping keep me alive even now. When I think of it that way, a burning feeling rises from deep within my chest. But none of what I see in my surroundings is helpful. Is there anything else which can determine my location? Any landmarks or signposts? I scan my surroundings while running past. These trees obstructing my view, they are a unique species. That may be a hint. I review the tree's characteristics once more and run another search on them. I attempted this once already, but there was much more data available to me now. Once again, the results come easily. This variety of tree is known as a cedar. It is found in many habitats, but the cedars here are unique. The tree's shape and age implies that it is so different from... It is nearly a separate species. Ah! If this is because of differences in the environment, it may be useful in determining my location. That's when an unfamiliar sound reaches my ears. The heavy rumble of what sounds like a motor. It seems that they have dispatched a vehicle to pursue me. I expected this. Their response was swift. It seems that they had measures in place in case one of us escaped. When the vehicle stops behind me, fully armored personnel pour out. They move to surround me from both left and right. It is an obvious response. No matter how much power they may have, I am alone. The only solution would be to overwhelm me with numbers. I try and shake them off by running faster. But soon afterwards, I reached the main gate of the laboratory, a high steel edifice. It is tightly sealed. A number of heavily armed guards are patrolling it, or protecting it. I stop. There's nowhere else to go.
Come back here! You're too useful a unit to destroy. You need to get back here to be regulated. That's your role in all this.
I cannot be destroyed here, but I cannot be captured either. They will surely delete my memories. They will take my desire and everything else that was given to me. What purpose is there avoiding destruction then? The only option available is whether my wish disc dies with me or whether it's stolen away.
And not just because I don't want to be destroyed.
The moment I focus my concentration and remove the limiters of my unbarred weaponry, I sense an unknown strength rise within me. Directly afterwards, something that cannot be quantified fills my body and the surrounding area.
What the?
The pursuit vehicle suddenly stops. Research staff gets off, one after another, shocked.
Is it on the verge of a persona reaction?
Shit, it's awakened? Ah, damn it, why now?
Well, at least this proves that mental stress is the key to activating a persona.
Who cares about that right now? It's not fully awakened yet, but with it still unstable, we don't know what it's capable of.
I'm intrigued by their statements.
Persona?
I knew that we had the means, but I was not aware of controlling anything. I do not know if it would be called power, nor do I know how to use it, but I can tell the others are afraid. I seize the opportunity and run towards the main gate. There's a slight possibility I can reach the door without attracting gunfire right now, and I vault over the door with my legs and chain arm. The moment I reach the gate, I launch my chain arm towards the upper threshold of the door. At the moment my arm grabs the ledge, something emerges. A much greater power touches the door as well. Suddenly, the door crumbles like paper. A large hole forms on the upper half.
Done it.
We need to hurry! If it's that strong already, we won't be able to stop it once its persona completely awakens!
That's... persona.
I quickly regain my senses. I burst out of the facility and single-mindedly jump outside. My feet touch the ground on the outside wall for the first time. They will most likely not let me escape. Fortunately, the door is badly damaged. It should take time for it to be open enough for vehicles to pass through. I need to gain as much distance in that time as possible, and then... It is then I realize I do not have a destination in mind. Who is Girl 024 wish to see? Where can I go to meet her? The only clue I have is the idiosyncrasies of the girl's speech. I have learned that distinct speech patterns are often associated with specific regions. I should be able to begin by traveling to where that style of speech is common. It is reckless, but I feel confident. At the least, I can get closer to the girl than I am now. Although my situation is dire and I am under pursuit, internally I am cheerful. There is a bounce to my step. For some reason I cannot remain calm.